Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Awesome. All right. So let's start by celebrating some wins. You can either celebrate the ones you already wrote me or any new ones.
Well, I slept 12 hours yesterday. That was great.
Hey, that's fabulous.
So yeah, that was exciting. And then just the ones I put on there, like I feel like it's been really cool to be able to try and just deep dive into the different facets of what I have claimed as my identity and see what's there.
Right.
That's been interesting.
Okay.
And
yeah. And a raise.
Yeah.
That gets you closer to your goal.
Yes, it does.
So that's fabulous. What brought on the raise?
I have no idea. I think it was just time at that job. And
okay.
So yeah.
Well, fabulous. That's always a fun surprise.
Yeah, it was.
Well, awesome. So okay, you're scheduling, you're still working on that. How are you feeling about that?
It's still a work in progress.
Okay.
But little by little, I think it'll get better.
Good. Do you feel like it's helpful when you do schedule? Like, are you seeing the benefits of it?
Yes. I think because this isn't something that I have made on my list of things to journal about recently. I think part of my struggle is that I'm like, well, nothing really has to get done, or I'm going to work and then we'll see what happens at work. And so then I don't schedule anything specific in there. So it's like work is just this block and then it's not as productive as it could be.
Right. Okay. Okay. What do you want to schedule in when you are at work?
That's a good question. And part of the reason that I have been dreading going to work, I think, is because I don't have a clear set of what's expected to be done or expectations in general, because they keep changing on me. And so I just get to work and I'm like, okay, we'll wing it. See what happens. Throw it at the wall, see what sticks.
Okay. Do you feel like you can get clarity on that? Oh, you froze. Dang it. Can you
probably ought to just start a list of all the things. Yes, can you hear me? I kind of just went through that spot.
Okay, so yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
But I don't know what you said before.
That's okay. I just said that considering that it's my boss that keeps changing her mind on everything, I probably ought to just start making a list and be like, this is the conflicting information that I have been given.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because like not knowing like, hey, am I doing my job well? that's got to be kind of a frustrating experience. Not knowing if you're doing it right or which information she wants you to go off of. So yeah, if you can have a clarifying conversation with her and just say, okay, you've told me this and you've told me this, like, which one do you want me to do? Do you feel like that's a conversation you can have?
Maybe after I get past this block that was the topic that I kind of wanted to talk to you about today, of like responsibility and like trying to control everything. Because my sister also, I am just going to jump right into this. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're fine.
So my sister also works for this veterinarian, but she only works 1 day a week.
Okay.
Yeah, because she has my niece, and that's just what she can do. And so And my doctor has been working basically nonstop for the last month and a half, which was her choice because she only works at this job 4 days a week. And then she schedules herself to go to California to do relief work where she works 14-hour shifts, night shifts.
Wow.
And then she comes back and sometimes rests on Sunday and then comes back into work on Monday, and she works at the university and she does this job. And so she just overtaxes herself.
Right.
Which comes across as like she's tired, and then she kind of gets, because she's also a bit of a perfectionist, and she gets kind of nitpicky. And so, you know, my sister only works 1 day a week, and then she's trying to help with like anesthetic sedation and things like that. And there's just been some problems. And so I have this story that says that I am responsible for everybody else's problems and making sure that they are happy and everything works out. And so I get my sister's side of the story, and she's feeling like crap. And I'm like, okay, I have this like intense desire that I have to fix this. But then, you know, there's the logical side of my brain that says this is not your problem to fix. But I still worry about it and think about it. And it just causes lots of anxiety. And then I get the doctor's story, and she's just unhappy with clients and, you know, and how things are going, yada, yada, yada. And so there's just a lot of like emotions and things that are going on that I can't figure out how to separate myself from them.
Okay.
And, you know, in journaling about it, like, I don't know what it looks like to be separated from them. Mm-hmm. Like, I recognize that it's a problem, but it's always just been a problem that I've dealt with. And so I'm having a hard time picturing how to deal with it in a better way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing that comes to my mind is being detached from the outcome. Right now, you're very attached to the outcome. And in fact, the fix it is actually disempowered feminine. So you're okay. Running like in that disempowered feminine. So being detached from the outcome doesn't mean that you're like, oh, to heck with it all, right? It just means you're okay with whichever way it goes. Like, whether, like, I'm trying to think of a for instance, but give me a for instance at work. That will help me.
At work, well, my sister wants to quit.
Okay.
And, you know, I think that for her, that might be the best option. And then going to outcome, I'm like, okay, well, where does that leave me? Because I haven't exactly been super happy here, but I also don't want to leave this doctor with no one to work for her. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, does that give you some where to go off of?
Yeah. So what does it mean to you right now if your sister quits?
It means that I have to do all of the surgeries, and that if anything goes wrong, like, I have to hear about it even more, and that I will be literally the only other employee at this clinic.
Okay. So it sounds like right now, like you feel under pressure as is. Mm-hmm. So your sister leaving brings more pressure onto your shoulders, right?
Right.
Is that how it's feeling? Okay. So being detached from the outcome here is going to mean, okay, if my sister chooses to leave, it's okay. If she chooses to stay, it's okay. This is what I desire. So did you listen to I think it was the March 9th Rise Up call where Allison talked about reverently demanding?
I missed that one.
Okay, so I would go back and listen to the March 9th Rise Up call. I wish I remembered where in the call she talked about it, but she talks about reverently demanding, right? So like you can say to God, okay, like I'm willing to do this, but I demand but I require it to be easy, filled with ease, filled with joy, and fast. So in this case, you can be like, okay, like I'm willing to be the only employee, but I require a new employee to come in quick, easy, and somebody I enjoy working with. So giving those reverent demands to God. And that helps you separate from the outcome, just knowing that, okay, everything always works out for me. And, this is happening and it's happening for my growth.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like, okay, so the control, like, what is the outcome? Oh, go ahead.
I should say mostly what I determined is that I have convinced myself that if I am in control of everything, then it's easier to be responsible for everything because I'm in control of it. And, again, that logical side of my brain says, yeah, but you're not. But I like to pretend and it's not really helping anything.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, how's it working out for you right now?
It's very stressful.
Yeah. So you get to make a decision. And then once you make the decision, you get to recommit to your decision. And you may be recommitting like 5 times every hour. You just, however often it's going to take, but you get to make the decision to let go. And then you get to go into inspired action. So you get to get really in tune with yourself and with God here. Okay, I've got to let go of this control. Like I've got to let go of the need to control, and I'm assuming kind of micromanage affairs at work.
Not necessarily at work. I just find that I don't think I truly know how to trust anyone. And sometimes that even like applies to God. Where I'm like, if I can't, it probably goes back to that whole lone wolf thing, but if I can't figure it out, if I can't do it, then no one can, and it's my fault. Life is, out of control type of thing.
Right. And how does that feel?
Again, very stressful.
Yeah. And I'm sure like heavy and like, I mean, you're taking that energy and you're going to work with it every day. So no wonder you're dreading going to work. Right? Like you're in the energy of stress and in the energy of like, only I can do this. And the pressure that puts on, like, that's not fun.
Nope.
So how is your morning? I'm asking about morning routine for a reason, but how is your morning routine?
It kind of sucks.
Okay.
And I haven't figured out how to stick to one.
Okay.
Sometimes, I can pop up and life is great and I can get a lot done in the mornings. And other times I hit the snooze button like 12 gazillion times, which does not start my morning off well.
Right.
But I just don't want to roll out of bed. I don't want to go anywhere or do anything.
Well, yeah. And especially if you're especially if you're waking up knowing you're going to work and you're carrying that dread around, right? How do you like meditation?
It's not something I'm great at, just because I have a lot of thoughts that I have to try and calm down.
Right. Which is normal, just so you know, that's totally normal.
Oh, good.
Allison said yesterday on the call, like she was talking about meditation and she's like, you might have to tell your head to shut up every second and a half. Like, because thoughts, our minds aren't, especially as women, our minds aren't designed to be super quiet. But how do you feel about starting a practice of morning meditation?
I can give it a shot.
Okay, because meditation, and Allison says, if that's the only thing you can do, then great. Like, that's the only thing you can do. It connects you to God, it connects you to flow, and it connects you to your feminine energy first thing in the morning. Which, if you're in that feminine energy, things are going to feel lighter. They're going to feel more fun. And the hope here too is you'll have something to look forward to, so that, like, you'll start waking up, oh yes, I get to go meditate. Like, I love meditation. I love how I feel after I meditate. I love how I feel as I'm meditating. I love the downloads I get while meditating, like, so it's going to give you something to look forward to get out of bed in the morning. Which means that snooze button isn't as tempting. I'm sure it's still tempting, but it isn't as tempting. You can do a guided meditation, or you can just do a meditation where you're like, okay, today I want to connect to flow. And you just turn on some meditation music and you just say, I am flow. And just say that over and over. And as your mind wanders, oh, nope, I am flow. Like, just bring yourself back to that statement. Allison recommends 15 minutes. But if you don't feel that you're there yet, start with 3, build to 5, go, you know what I mean? Take the baby steps you need to take so that you can get to the 15 minutes. Because we don't want this to be another thing you dread.
Right.
We want it to be something you look forward to and you're excited about. Okay. So I want you to start implementing a morning meditation.
Okay.
And then, where did it go? I had a thought about work, and the thought came and fleeted. Oh, yes. So when you're at work, I want you to, like you said, you should probably create a list. So create your list of things that need to be done, but also kind of create your list of what you're getting conflicting information about, so that you can have that conversation with your boss. But create a list of what your responsibilities are. And then as you're at work, be like, okay, which one feels the easiest and lightest for me to participate in right now? Obviously, there will be times where, like, when a client shows up, well, you got to help the client. You don't get to be like, and what's most easy and fun right now? But like all the behind the scenes responsibilities, be like, okay, what feels lightest and most fun and pleasurable to me right now? And see if that helps lift that pressure, that just the pressure you're putting on yourself. And then when it comes to control, you've got to make the decision to let it go. And again, this is where you get to really start working on your relationship with God, and really kind of hounding into, okay, like, and kind of turning this over to you.
Yeah.
So help me, help me trust that everything works out for me. See what's going on, the stressors of work, like see those as a level 2 problem, and you're a level 10 person. And
Okay.
and looking at it that way so that it can start being less pressure. What you've done is put yourself in a pressure cooker, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like you're ready to just poof. So
yeah,
the more pleasure you can bring in. Do you connect back to the feminine during work hours?
Probably not.
Okay. So some simple.
I can't think of any examples, so
okay.
Probably not.
So some simple ideas, like when you need to go to the bathroom, take a few extra minutes in the bathroom and just kind of sway your hips. That's a simple, easy way to get you back in the feminine. And it's not going to take you too long, where like, even if you can give it 30 seconds, just bringing your body back to the feminine. I have a client who took some hand soap and takes hand soap to work. So when she washes her hands, it's a smelly scent that she really, really loves. And so when she washes her hands, she just really takes in the smell and the of the soap. And that connects you back into the feminine. Anything you can do to get back into your body will connect you to feminine. If you have a minute where you can watch like a comedic clip, like maybe on your lunch break or something. I know you say you don't always get a lunch break, but if you do, like pull up on your phone, like some comedian that you like, and listen to him tell jokes for, a few minutes so that you can laugh and bring in that feminine energy again. How has, like, you made your joy list and I gave you some ideas last month. So how has that self-care been coming along?
When I'm at home, it's coming along good.
Good. Okay. Do you do it daily, like multiple times a day? What does it look like?
I try and do it at least once a day when I get home.
Okay.
Just because that's the time period that I'm at home.
Right.
And like I said, my morning routines kind of suck, and so I don't do much up there. I just basics and run out the door.
Right.
And not at work. So it's usually when I go home that I do something.
Okay. Well, so let's start. Make sure you get it 1 time a day, but we want to work up to 3 times a day. And again, it can be something so silly and easy at work, like the hand washing or exfoliating, getting into your hips, turning on some music, whatever it is that can really just spend some time in that energy. It keeps fleeting from my mind and it just came back. So I'm like, the law of focus. Okay. What we focus on expands. You haven't quite gotten there I'm like trying to remember what module the law of focus is. Let's see. I'm looking in. Okay. Module 12 is the law of focus. So I want you to start spending some time in your imagination playroom of what you want work to look like. And start, this can be part of your morning meditation. Like, okay, when I want to wake up and I want to be excited about work, right? Like I want to feel excited. I want to get there. I want to enjoy the clients. I want to enjoy the doctor. I want to enjoy the animals. So what does that look like to me? Okay, well, it looks like this. Like it looks like a client coming in with a smile on their face, happy to know that their animal is in good hands, right? Or it looks like the doctor noticing and appreciating something I've done. Or it looks, so whatever you're wanting it to look like, spending some time in your mind focusing on that so that you can start to create that reality. So instead of focusing on the things that you don't want in work and that you don't like in work, we're focusing on what we want. And that will bring, our thoughts create our reality. So that'll start bringing that new reality. And remember, we do have time lag, so it won't be an overnight success.
Right.
But you'll start to notice that natural shift as you begin to focus on that. When right now you're in massive judgment of yourself, I mean, you're taking so, like I said, putting yourself in that pressure cooker, and really judging everything that you do. And you've got to just release the judgment and be aware. Awareness is where we want to be, but it's massive awareness and zero judgment. So if you're like, okay, well, where can I improve? Oh, that's great feedback. That's all it is feedback. I could do this differently. It doesn't make anything else wrong or anything else right. It just means, oh, this might be a more efficient way to do X. And it doesn't mean anything about you. As you're needing to control, you're wanting to control the outcome, you're wanting to control the circumstances, you're wanting to control everything. And then if something goes wrong, you're taking that judgment and you're taking a beat up stick to yourself. Right?
Yeah.
And we don't like the beat up stick.
Right.
So we want to lay that beat up stick and not pick it back, lay it down and not pick it back up. So as you're receiving feedback, through your journaling or just when you have time to think, a lot of times it happens for me in the shower when I'm like, oh, there's a great download. Just take it as that feedback. Oh, that's a great idea. Thank your angels. Thank God for it. Oh, thank you. That was a beautiful download I just received. And now I know how I can tweak something. And we get to experiment and see how it works. And then you just get more feedback. You either get feedback in, oh, this idea is working, or, oh, this idea really isn't working. And if it's not working, that's great. You just got more feedback and you tweak again. And that's how you need to approach it is, oh, okay, that didn't work. Now let's try this. That active directed faith, so that really going into that and asking God, okay, what's one thing I can do differently? Or what's one thing I can do to alleviate my stress? What's one thing I can do to enjoy my job today? Asking those questions and waiting for the downloads. And that morning meditation is going to make all the difference, because that's what's going to connect you first thing in the morning to God. So what's coming up?
No, I agree with that. Pressure cooker reminds me of I don't know if you've seen Encanto, but that surface pressure song. Okay, well, there's a song that the oldest sister sings called Surface Pressure. And she talks about how, because she's the strong sister, and how she just takes on all the family's problems, and she's the one that's supposed to hold everything up. And I was like, yep. The world is a heavy place at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so release yourself from that. Like,
Yeah.
like just, okay, like this isn't my responsibility. I know you know it logically, but make the decision. I'm done being responsible for other people and trying to fix their problems. Like, this is not mine. And just letting it go. I know, easier said than done. And that's why I said,
most things are.
yes. That's why I said it takes that recommitting too.
Mhm.
Reminding yourself, oh, you know what? I decided that I was no longer available to taking on other people's problems. So I'm not going to try to fix this. That's not mine to fix. I'm not going to try to control the outcome here.
And I think that's probably the big one for me that I'm getting out of this is I do. I want to control all the outcomes. I want to make sure that everyone's happy. I want to make sure that, everything is done just so. And the world's not going to fall apart if it's not.
Right. Yeah. And like, let's be honest, we can't make everybody happy. So just acknowledging that, like, that there is no way you can make everyone happy. Like, nobody can do that. Not even Christ himself did that, Rickie. Like,
Yeah.
So look at, like, it's just not humanly possible to make everybody happy. So really locking that in and realizing, like, it's not your job nor your responsibility to make others around you happy. Your job and responsibility is to make yourself happy. Like, that's what you have control over. It's how you think and how you feel every day.
Yeah.
So, any other questions or things coming up before we hop off?
Any suggestions for how to be that bridge? Because I'm going on this trip with my boss and my sister tomorrow.
Oh, so you guys are all flying together, all in the same hotel room?
We're driving.
Oh, driving. Okay.
And so it's like a 9-hour drive.
Mm.
And we're all staying in the same hotel room and then going to this conference together.
Okay. And so what's the fear coming up that you feel like you need to be the bridge?
I'm just really afraid it's going to be really, really awkward. Because my sister and I road trip together all the time and it's not a problem. But my sister and I also get along really, really well.
Uh-huh.
And then you throw in my boss and the problems that she and my sister have been having, and just some of the, the behind the scenes things that neither of them is really talking about to one another, but it's kind of under that surface pressure tension.
Right.
And we're just all going to be stuck in the car for 9 hours.
Right. So first, I want you to remember it's not your job to be the bridge. The stuff that's going on between the two of them, it's theirs. So release yourself of that responsibility. But then think of what would be light and fun in the car, like having certain music on, like a book on tape you can all listen to and discuss. You could, coming in with ideas to keep the atmosphere light and fun, and come in with that expectation. So if you come in with the expectation of this is going to be, sorry.
You're fine.
If you come in with the expectation of this is going to be awful, we're stuck in the car for 9 hours and this is going to be the most uncomfortable thing ever.
Mhm.
Guess what you're going to get?
Yeah, the most uncomfortable thing ever.
But if you come in with the expectation that this is going to be valuable time where you guys get to bond and you get to create together, like discuss things like, you know, what can we do differently to support our clients? Or what can we do differently to support each other? How can we help make your job feel lighter? And how can we, you know, coming in with the intention that things are going to be beautiful and they're going to work out exactly as they're supposed to. And then it's going to be the most pleasurable 9 hours you've had in the car.
Okay.
So go in with that expectation. Otherwise, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning with some severe dread.
Yeah.
So are you looking forward to the convention?
You know, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Looking at the topics, it's things that I'm like, okay, I don't know that I'm really interested in that, but here's to an adventure. So
right. Is there one topic that like stands out to you the most that you can discuss and be like, gosh, I'm really excited to learn this about this, like what they you know what I mean, like discussing, like is it breakout classes or is everybody getting the same information?
They have different tracks, like they have the doctor small animal, the technician, and then like the doctor large animal.
Okay.
So my sister and I will be in the same ones, and then the doctor will be in a different one, I think.
Okay. Awesome. So you know, like go into it with an intention so that you come out like I have the intention, like I want to learn how to do XYZ better, and go in with that intention, or I want to learn more about XYZ, like whatever. Just I don't know how the convention is
I don't know either.
going to run. So, but coming up with an intention, again, setting an intention for the car ride, set an intention for the conference, set an intention for the hotel, like just keep setting your intentions and be very intentional about what you're going to do and how you're going to feel, and be unavailable to drama. Like, nope, I am unavailable to drama unfolding while we're on this trip. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I want to hear about the conference. Want to hear about the drive. So keep in touch and we will talk soon.
Okay. Thanks,
Okay.
Shelly.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Okay. See you, Rickie.
Bye.
Bye.